So we're back after I kicked the dog out of the room. So talked about control symptoms, management overrides, weakness in counting, right? They should be, the most important control for inventory is the physical inventory count. That should be done. Some of your clients will do cycle inventories where they count certain things certain times of the year. Some will just do one big year-end inventory. But they should be doing an inventory physical count, and it should be correct. They shouldn't be anything weird about that. So that could be a control system if they're not doing their cycle counts when they should be, or at the end of the year. All right. What will you see behaviorally? Oh, the most typical behavioral, I would say, is they don't let you see stuff. Like you go, okay, you say you have this inventory, I need to see it. Oh, you can't go to that warehouse, it's closed. Or, oh yeah, that inventory, we transferred it over to this other out-of-state area, something like that. So, they don't let you look at stuff. They want you to look at stuff in a hurry. They don't want to get stuff down for you to inspect and make sure that box isn't empty, or that pallet isn't hollow in the middle, or anything suspicious. Remember, they shifty transactions with the inventory going between one warehouse or another, or it's in transit. So paying attention to whether it's FOB shipping point, FOB destination, right? They may be claiming some inventory belongs to them when it doesn't yet, or they've already sold it, but they're still saying it's theirs. So shifty behavior is something to keep an eye on. Lifestyle symptoms. Well, what you need to keep an eye on in any kind of fraud is that the management of the organization may have a reason to commit the fraud, right? So we're looking at that fraud triangle. We're saying, what's the pressure, all right? And what's the opportunity? So you're trying to say, okay, is there a bonus tied in that if they overstate inventory, thereby understating cost of goods sold, that they'll make their bonus kick in, they'll get their stock option, their stock price will go up, they can sell it, right? So looking at what management is doing with respect to bonuses and stocks, always a factor in any fraud investigation of financial statement fraud. And finally, tips or complaints. You might have tips or complaints from vendors. So this is kind of the opposite of customers, right? So in revenue fraud, maybe they were doing some kind of lapping or weird thing with their customers, so they're complaining about their statements. Hey, I paid this on a different, right? Well, with inventory is being purchased from vendors, all right? And vendors probably are typically being paid because remember, they're trying to overstate it. But what they may be doing to commit the financial statement fraud is they may be using some fake vendors, maybe some related party transactions, so they're paying more, and vendors may be losing out on sales to the company. So it's like they'll have complaints like, hey, I've been selling this to you for years. They're complaining to the purchase manager, let's say, how come you're no longer buying my product? Right? Oh, well, we've got this new vendor, the boss made me use them. They're more expensive than you, but they don't seem any better. I don't know, right? So you may have complaints from vendors. And of course, you always have the potential of some accountant that's working there blowing the whistle. All right. So when we come back, we'll talk about actually looking for these symptoms.